Peace. Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday.
We are back again. We are here with BMore Sports Talk, the official podcast of the home team. All right, so I'm your gracious host. We're back. I'm Stephen Jones, a.k.a. F.L.O. And beside me, I have my good peoples.
You got Eric with a send the icon.
And
Sarah E. Arriaga, a.k.a. Lady Fire.
Lady Fire. I like it. Happy 2025. We apologize for missing y'all last Monday, but we're back, and we want to give y'all an exciting show today. We got plenty to talk about.
Yes, we do.
But before we get into it, y'all, how y'all doing today? How y'all feel?
Good, man. How you feeling, man?
Good. Yeah, I'm
good. Yeah, it's warm now because the weather's
last week was a little brisk. I'm glad it kind of warmed up a little bit.
Indeed. So, sorry, Ravens fans. That's probably was a bad good thing that we didn't have a show Monday, because we wouldn't have had a whole lot of good news for Ravens fans. Unfortunately, their season ended about a week ago at the Divisional in Buffalo, 25-27. We'll get into that more later. There's definitely a lot of positives to look back on in spite of a disappointing end to what was a very promising season. This is a team that's very well prepared to run it back next year. I think they are going to miss some key players, but I think there's a lot of pieces in place, namely the quarterback. They're still going to have, quarterback number one there for next year. So there's always a chance as long as they have him. But, very disappointing, end to the season. So, we're going to have to look forward to next year and move on. There's, Orioles baseball coming up in a couple months. There's still college sports going on. So we still got stuff to talk about.
NBA action.
And still NBA, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to get to our wonderful segment later on this evening. And, Ms. Sarah, is there anything you wanted to add to the congratulations to your
smiling awfully hard. I know why.
To your Greenbirds.
Yes, go EAGLES, Eagles. We always rocking it. So proud of my team. Record breaking at that. What?
Sorry, Kenny Mo. He couldn't make it today.
He said he'll be here next week, though.
Yeah, we send him our warmest regards. Him and Commanders Nation. They definitely did a wonderful job this year as well. Overachieving. There's definitely plenty to look forward. The future looks very bright with Jaden Daniels and company. They definitely seem to do a lot of great things, a lot of right things to put themselves in position to even contend for a championship, which no one outside of maybe DC thought that was going to happen. So, kudos to them. Kudos to Daniels. He's probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year as well. But we'll get into that. We got plenty to go. There's some Orioles news going on. We got plenty to catch up on in the basketball world as well. And we, of course, we got our sports history moment we'll be getting to shortly. We apologize for the tardiness, but we thank y'all for tuning in. For those who have been and who will continue to tune in live, and those who will be catching the recording, we thank you for tuning in and for being a wonderful, exciting, and important, loyal, dedicated part of the show. We can't do this without y'all.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
So I guess before I get to running my mouth some more. Anything that's on your mind before because the next thing I was going to do is go over the sports history moment, but it's a lot that went over. We're going to get into it.
Yeah,
but is there anything y'all wanted to just kind of, anything is hot burning right now? Any questions, comments, concerns?
The score. How they got crushed by 32. I don't think a lot of people expected that. And to start the game, it took Saquon 18 seconds to get that first touchdown. I don't know if y'all saw that, but that was the first play of the game.
Right.
18 seconds.
That fake out, man. What?
But,
what?
I was going crazy after that, for real.
Yeah. And he actually got injured. Well, they said he did. Got a
Hurts.
calf injury from that.
Oh, Barkley.
Yeah.
Well, good thing they'll have 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, so that'll give him
I saw him on the bike trying to get that ankle loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be good to go for the big game.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs, that was a tough one. Bills fell short.
Yeah.
3 points. That last heave by Allen, Kincaid couldn't bring that in. There was a lot of questionable calls. But I guess we'll get into that. We
will. We certainly will.
Yeah.
We got the segment for that. So speaking of segments, we can go ahead and move on to our On This Date in Sports segment.
Let's do it.
Sponsored by EBJR, where we ascend to icon. We looking real fresh with the drip, man.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
You got anything lined up for the people?
Yeah.
Like,
behind me, Valentine's Day is in a few weeks, so I got some Valentine's Day shirts dropping soon.
Check it out.
I got the tumblers, as you can see. I got some mugs. You can actually get some mugs now on my website. I got some these sublimated sweatshirts right here, fleece sweatshirts, and then some other, lady stuff, some leggings. I got a lot of drip on there, so go check out my site. So you got the
look at
puff.
that.
This is the puff vinyl right here. The puff vinyl, and then
it's got the texture that pop out the joint.
So I
you can't really
the logo.
You might not really be able to see it, but it pops out like.
Oh yeah. So those will be available.
Oh my god.
Those will be available in the week, so you can get right. You know what I'm saying, for Valentine's Day. Get your loved one or whoever you want to get something for. For V-Day. Got your love.
Man, bro, what you gonna come up with next? I mean, don't tell them, but I'm just saying.
I got something for every season. I'm gonna have something for every season. We're gonna have stuff for Easter.
I see you stay cooking,
nice.
bro. Bro, stay cooking in the lab. Okay,
got to.
I respect that. Yeah, man. Like, go ahead, man. Keep, man. I'm just saying, like, when we start. Well, I don't know what your definition of success at its highest, but whenever you reach that, I just want to congratulate you in advance and just say that I'm proud of you and
Thank you.
I'm glad to be witnessing and along for the ride, part of the journey, and just anything I can offer to support this platform, giving you means to help grow. You build your business up, and same for you, Sarah. If this platform offers anything for you to grow in your endeavors. Matter of fact, I wanted to ask you. I know we was going to move on to the Sports History segment, which we will. But is there anything you would like to, anything you wanted to shout out or announce to the people? We can do it later if you want. But if you wanted to, get on the soapbox real quick and let the people know what you got going on.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Couple things.
Okay.
I know this whole discussion today is going to be like, I don't know if I got time for this later, but I got to shout out the designer and wear another one of his pieces, Kenya Smith.
Oh yes. Man, yeah, man.
Always rocking it.
You might have to stand up for that. Like,
I know, right? Oh, can I?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
think the audience
try this.
Okay.
Woo. Yeah.
She had to wear all black because she killing them right now. She killing them with the fit. Fit game is killer, so that's why it's all black. She just mask and gloves sold separately. Nah, but thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kenya Smith. Like, that is some stunning attire.
Walking for him in his New York Fashion Week show, actually the day before the Super Bowl. So I was like, I'm keeping the ninth free, so I'm going to do his show on the 8th.
Okay.
Okay.
Congrats on that.
Indeed.
And then I hate to say last but not least, I always got to shout this out. I'm actually getting ready to work on another film. We're going to be doing, it's actually an animation, which is amazing.
Ooh,
I know.
Man, DMV Hollywood is here, y'all.
Yes. Terrell Dorsey, he is amazing. One thing I love about him, he does so much work. He just recently finished filming Sawmill Road, which is a short film. Going to be popping and scheduling soon. And then, yes, I'm so excited about that. Go to his YouTube page. I think we should have it in the comment section below, but it's definitely going to be popping off the charts. And then we got Mission 19 coming up. That is the animation. I was in his other film, The Longest Goodbye.
Okay.
So it was, really good. It was really amazing. He is an amazing writer, director, excellent work. I'm so excited. We're going to be touching base tonight to go over our character development for who I play. I get to play the co-captain. So
okay, go ahead.
It's like I got like a whole little binder full, couple scripts that I'll be filming throughout this year. So I shout out a couple more pieces, but he's got the little limelight right now. So.
Okay.
I can't wait for Black Thunder to drop.
I know. What about that? They keep wanting to call me Sam. I was like, dang, I must have did that role good. And
my gosh, yes. I'm still getting chills.
See?
Working with you on set.
It's like people know me in person. I'm like really nice. And I was like, I really try and get in tune with the character, but she was no joke, like dead ass hardcore. Don't mess with me. It was fun to her. Yeah.
2 chops to the throat. That's it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She speaks with violence.
Can let out the inner self without really having to like do it in real life. Put it on film.
That's what, acting. I know Dr. Shanetta mentioned something like that when she was here for the Thursday show, like last year. She mentioned something like that, being able to act out certain characters and things like that, certain personalities that you wouldn't necessarily could get away with in real life, but if you can, express it in film, then it's like, it's an outlet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Certain things you get to do in film that you couldn't do in real life. It's like, anyways.
So true.
Indeed. So back to. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay, so back to on this date in sports. So we got a couple notable events that went on this date, January 27th. Let's see here. So and then I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I know there might be some famous birthdays as well. Let's see here. 1991. Oh, let me see. There's a couple things that happened. I know. Pardon me. So so in 1991, the Super Bowl 25 in Tampa, the Giants beat the Buffalo Bills 20-19. The MVP was Otis Anderson, the running back for the Giants. I believe, Bill Parcells was the head coach for the Giants, and Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator. I think that was like the first of like 4 consecutive Super Bowls that the Bills would lose. It was somewhere in there, but I know they lost. They lost almost all NFC East teams: the Giants, the Cowboys, and I think they lost one to the They lost to the Redskins the following year, to Washington. Then the Redskins, and then they lost to the Cowboys later on. So tough luck, Buffalo. This is usually a very disappointing time of year for Buffalo Bills fans anyway, so they're used to it. Now, interestingly enough, 1992, on this date in January 1997, January 27th, 1992, Mike Tyson would go on trial for forcing himself. Allegedly forcing himself on a woman. I believe the woman in the trial was Robin Givens. That was a very controversial trial situation. Tyson, from what I understand, still claims his innocence, and I think that was a pretty sketchy situation. I know there was a lot of talk about false accusations and things like that. We're not going to really get into that. I know that's a really touchy subject, but I know that was a very, very controversial day in sports that happened. So let's see here. In 1955, I'm bouncing around a little bit, but in 1955, in the NFL draft, the first NFL draft, let me see, January 27th, 1955, George Shaw from the University of Oregon was the very first pick for the Baltimore Colts. So the very first pick of the very first NFL draft. Well, I take that back. I'm not sure if that was the first NFL draft, but in the NFL draft, the very first pick was George Shaw, who went to the Baltimore Colts from the University of Oregon. I'm not sure which position. Oh no, he's the backup quarterback. He was the backup quarterback to Johnny Unitas. I remember there was a game where Johnny Unitas got hurt up real bad. One of the defensive linemen, they put a lot of weight on his ribs and crushed his ribs. Geez. And Johnny Unitas tried to go back in the game. He tried to convince the coach to go back in the game. He looked like, beat up like crap. Like he needed to be put on a stretcher. He's like, put me back in, coach. I'm ready. He's like, no, sit your hind parts down.
Right. Like,
George Shaw is good to go. They won the game, but that was way before, they had these roughing the passer calls. Whole different time.
So
your granddads would know.
Yeah.
A whole different time. The Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen's of today would not last in that generation of football. They could legally destroy quarterbacks.
They was they was legit.
So 1960. All right, moving forward, January 27th, 1969. Chuck Noll is named the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and at the time would be the youngest coach in NFL history. I think there was only like 2 or 3 coaches after him before they hired Tomlin. After Chuck Noll, I think it was one more coach, and then they hired Bill Cowher, and then after that, Mike Tomlin. So Steelers is probably as far as the least number of coaches in the existence of their franchise, that stability and that consistency, they're the benchmark in terms of that, Pittsburgh. And I know there's a lot of talk about should they move on from their coach now, and I'll let them debate that. We're not worried about that over here, but just speaking of that, that's a franchise that's had the luxury of stability and coaching for a very long time. So, 1970, the following year, January 27th, salute to Black excellence. Arthur Ashe beat Dick Creeley in 3 matches in the Australian Open men's tennis. So shout out to Arthur Ashe, rest in peace. 1970, that same year, same day, in the draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers would then draft number 1 overall from Louisiana Tech, Terry Bradshaw.
Oh,
So you had the coach the year before, then you get the quarterback the year after. Boom,
Wow.
Super Bowl runs.
Damn.
There you go. The dynasty. Speaking of dynasties, everyone's talking about Kansas
Right.
City. I think Pittsburgh was like one of the earliest examples of that back in the 70s. So let's see here. In 1973, on January 27, 1973, the UCLA's basketball team, they won their 61st consecutive game, which was a record, NCAA record at the time.
That's huge.
So, yes, indeed, got that going on. And then, let me see, the 91, 92, and then in 2007, let's see. Oh, yeah, 2007, January 27th, January 27th, 2007. So many numbers.
lucky number 7.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Black excellence. Shout out to women's excellence in sports as well. Serena Williams wins in the Australian Open women's tennis. Serena Williams beats Maria Sharapova in 2 straight sets, 6-1, 6-2. She got rid of her quick. A quick with her. And that was the first time that the tournament ever used what's called the Hawkeye system for official line calls. So I guess whenever the ball land on the line to see if it was actually like in play or if it landed out of bounds, they had an actual digital technology they was using. That's the first time they was using that to make sure. So they made sure they had to make sure that was a clean and sound ass whooping that Serena gave Maria on that tennis court that
Give
day.
her credits.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, got to make sure you get it right. So that is our On This Day in Sports moment. Thank y'all for listening and tuning in and putting up with my nostalgia.
We got 2 birthdays too. Well, one that is today it's been a little time, and one that is coming up. So we got Fritz Pollard. He was a early NFL star, played 1920, 1926, born 1894. He was also a coach and born in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Sadly, of course, rest in peace, passed away 1986. But, today is his birthday, so we still got to celebrate. Yeah. And then coming up, we got Emmitt Smith, birthday on January 30th. So NFL Hall of Fame.
Aquarius, right? I didn't know he was an Aquarius.
Birthday.
That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah, man. Shout out Emmitt Smith.
Shout out.
That's what's up. Happy Aquarius solar phase, everyone, for all of our January and February unite. Aquarians unite. Yep. Don't matter what month it is. You know what I'm saying? We are the wave. We are the flow. We are the inundation. Anyways,
tomorrow.
Man, happy early birthday, brother!
Thank you.
So shout out to Dennis. His birthday was just a few days ago. We got to shout him out on the Thursday show.
Happy belated.
You Aquarius. I still got to rep my Sag. So
it's all good. Sag energy is welcome over here.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? We need that fire. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes to heat things up, spice it up. Light it
fire.
up.
Yeah,
Lady fire. So yes indeed. Definitely got that balance. So. All right, so I guess we can move on to the next segment. It's your time, sir.
You know what time it is.
What time is it?
Scoops on the hoops. I give you the latest scoops on all the hoops out there. NBA, college. Touch on some women ball. So I'm just gonna jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
Top teams right now. OKC. They've been killing it right now. 36-8. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's actually leading the NBA. He's averaging 32 points per game.
Wow, about a bucket.
Yeah, and I don't know if you watch him. His style of play is just so unorthodox. Like, dude is like a beast.
I'm gonna have to do my homework. Since it's not football, not much football left. I could definitely fill in my time.
Yeah. Cleveland, they actually on a 3-game losing streak. They were the best team in the league right now. They actually fell to number 2. They 36-9. They lost 3 straight. Boston still holding down the 3rd spot, 32-14.
Okay.
Houston, they've been playing really good ball right now. They're in 4th right now, 30-14.
Okay.
And I'm just going to give you the top 10 teams.
Okay, yeah.
Quick. Memphis, 5th in the league right now, 31-15.
Yo, yeah, Ja's something else.
Yeah, man. I mean, he always
Did
trying
you
to
see
make a
that?
poster.
I don't know if I mentioned how he tried to dunk on Wembanyama. Maybe that was
When the whistle blown and they still try to say, yeah. I mean, it was bad. It was bad, but like they don't consider it a poster because the whistle blown. But Ja said, hey, if he get the opportunity, he gonna do it, and he yanked on him. It was sad. Wemby's been getting dunked on a lot lately. So
okay. So it's not like all right.
Yeah, it's
still
nothing new.
But
Yeah.
no, but what I wanted to comment was the look. There was a post. There was a meme
Okay.
about the look on all the other players' faces when he was attempting to duck.
Yeah.
And somebody had commented like all of the ain't no bleeping way on all these guys' faces. That was something I messed up the caption, but it was just like the way the guys. The look on the dude's faces is like that was priceless. I'm sorry.
Moving on to Knicks, they holding down the 6th spot. They 30-15. Denver 7th in the league, 28-17. Milwaukee 8th, 25-18. And then Lakers been playing really good ball right now. 25-18. They actually crept up to the 5th spot in the West.
Okay.
And they're actually surging. They playing really great ball. To touch on Lakers, they played yesterday.
I think Greaves has been coming on for them lately.
Yeah. They actually played Golden State yesterday, and it was a real cool moment in the game. I don't know if you heard J.J. Redick's 2 sons, like they lost all their sports memorabilia in that fire.
Yeah.
That's kids,
tough
when they lose stuff like that, man, this stuff means a lot. It's devastating. So Curry actually gifted Redick's sons 2 signed jerseys.
That's fire.
So that was so cool to see the looks on their
awareness.
face and them smiling, gifting jerseys like from Curry, like he's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's real stand up. I mean, I know he does stuff like that.
Yeah, so now they got something to start over their memorabilia collection. And 10th team Clippers right behind the Lakers. They're 25-19. And yesterday, shout out to Kobe. Yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of Kobe's death. It seems like it was just yesterday. So R.I.P. to Black Mamba. Legend. A little moment of silence for him.
Yes, indeed.
Trade deadline, February 6th.
Oh, yeah, that is
man.
right. That's
a
right
lot
around
of
the
players
corner.
to keep an eye on. I know you've been hearing about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Who hasn't been hearing about Jimmy Butler?
So he's been getting suspended a lot because he, hasn't wanted to travel. He's basically trying to force his way out the team. Like nowadays, this is what these players do. They try to force their way out. So he's linked to the Grizzlies, Suns, and Golden State, and a bunch of other teams.
Yep, because Yep, he's still talented enough. He's still talented enough right now. Right now, this year, he's still talented enough. But geez, it's like
it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like you can't. The thing about it is like if I'm a GM and somebody's calling my team about a trade proposal for him, I'm not really giving much up in terms of draft because first of all, how long am I going to have Butler? How long am I going to want to keep Butler? That's even the more important question. And how good of a fit is he going to be with what I have? So those are all real concerns that I would have. In spite of his talent and his production, there are going to be a lot of factors to consider before I would be ready to pull that trigger on a deal like that. Unless they just going, Jimmy Butler, we even eat some of his salary and, you can give us a bag of basketballs, something like that.
Right.
All right, I'll do that. But, that's basically what I'll have to give up in return to really feel comfortable with a deal like that.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know what you're going to get.
That's true. You really don't.
Besides the name, you don't know what you're getting.
Right. You got Zach LaVine. He's been another big name I've been hearing in the trade market. And it's just a lot of other players, too many to get into. And the Lakers are actually looking to add another big,
Okay.
So
some depth, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to college basketball. Terps, they beat Indiana.
Yeah, the Terps, the men's Terps.
Men's Terps, yeah.
I think the road trip, sweeping those 2 games, they really showed the Big Ten what they can do. And Julian Reese went off. He had a career night against Illinois. Really made a statement. And if he's involved, him and Derek Queen, as long as they continue to feed off each other, they don't even have to have their best game, and it's still going to go down to the wire.
Right.
No matter who they face. So I think they're going to really be a factor. And I think winning that game against Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana came off a real tough loss, and they wanted to really wash that out of their mouth. But Maryland found a way to tough out a close one. They really went down to the last shot. But they, did what they need to do. I think that's going to really help them down the line as they get closer to the end of the season, Big Ten tournament, and then you got most likely they'll be in the NCAA tournament this year as well. So a lot of young new pieces that are really starting to come along. Winning on the road is big. It goes a long way in terms of just not only the standings and seedings, but also just confidence. Knowing you can do it.
Yeah, and the whole team contribute. Gillespie had 18, Miguel 15.
Rodney Rice is coming on too.
Oh yeah, he had 23. And
he was the leading scorer.
And 10 rebounds. Queens had a quiet 7, but they all contribute. Lady Terps didn't do as well. They got
they slid
by UCLA. But they're 21-0, so I mean they're
UCLA is undefeated, number 1 in the country. So I mean it was a tough time to run into a buzzsaw,
right?
And I think they're a little shorthanded with injuries. The Lady Terps. So
UCLA got this one player on the team named Betts. She put in like 33. She was like balling. And then the Huskies, men's Huskies, they actually lost to Xavier's, a tough one, 76-72. They're still ranked 19, 14-6 overall.
Okay.
Lady Huskies, they beat Creighton 72-61, and they're actually the 6th seed right now. They're 19-2, so they're playing great ball. So look out for, trade deadline for NBA. That's big, right around the corner. So that's Scoops on the Hoops.
Wait, I'm sorry. Before we move on.
What is it?
Shout out to Morgan State Bears. They beat Coppin State. So for homecoming, the Beast is in the East. The East side beat the West side.
Did they beat them? What was the score?
80-66.
Okay.
So they had control throughout. I think it was never really in doubt. I think they fell asleep behind the wheel a little bit towards the end. Coppin made it a little bit more of a game towards the end, but then they started to pull away at the very end and said, no, not tonight. But shout out to the Bears.
Shout out to the Bears.
Shout out to the East side. East side gets the crown this year. So sorry, West side. Maybe next year, maybe not. I had to rub it in. As a matter of fact, I was out and about making my rounds today, and one of my deliveries was for Morgan State student. She had on the Bears T-shirt, so I had to dap her up.
I actually work with a couple people over at Morgan at my job with the apparel and stuff. So
they be having some joints like the logos and the colors, orange and blue.
I just did something for the acrobatics team, and then
that's fine.
The gift shop.
Come on, you holding out on the sauce, bro. You got any pictures? I mean, maybe not today, but do you have any pictures? Did you take any pictures?
Well, they only had the gymnastic and acrobatics. It's like their second year, so it's like a new program. But, they bring their merch and they get their stuff like embroidered and stuff like that. So shout out to Morgan State. We appreciate the business.
And Towson University, they're playing Northeastern tonight at 9:00 p.m. They're 11-9. Go Tigers. So just another little tidbit on the hoops.
One thing for tonight, 2 key matchups. You got Houston versus Boston. Houston is a top team right now.
Udoka versus former team.
You're
going to want to show out.
Huge. That's going to be
There's going to be a lot of energy in that game.
It's going to be a lot of energy. And then you got Memphis versus Knicks. So these are all top teams.
Yeah, it's already on. Knicks up 13-8 in the first quarter. That should be a good one.
Keeping an eye on that, But that's it for Scoops on the Hoops. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you much, good brother, for giving us the latest with the latest and the greatest there. So, Miss Sarah, y'all think y'all gonna get y'all lick back from a couple years ago?
Oh heck yes! It's a rematch. Like it has to be. Does
it hurt so good to be an Eagles fan? That's what I want to know.
It does. Like I'm always trying to rep them, and I'm just like I'm so excited, man. I can't believe it. It's the Chiefs' 3rd year back into the Super Bowl, but we're gonna take them down. It's our rematch. We got so close. What was it? 35-38. We was like right there. Now we're gonna be like. It's no joke.
Yeah, I'm rooting for y'all because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win.
I know, right? They dominated. They really did. They dominated against San Fran the year before, and it's like we're gonna take them down. It's I know 3 is my lucky number, but it's not gonna be theirs. Let's just say that.
I know that's right.
Let's just say that. But no, they did pretty good. I gotta rep the Chiefs. They did pretty good, finishing 15-2 their regular season this year. AFC West Division title.
Same record as the Chiefs.
So they're good. They're good. Mahomes and Kelsey, they are really tight. They are really dope.
Both teams, Oh
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say both teams have more firepower from the last one. one. Because
Yeah.
the Chiefs have better offensive weapons. The receivers, it's not just Kelsey now. They got DeAndre Hopkins. They got Marquise Brown, formerly of the Ravens. They got some speed. They got some size. So they have a diversity of talent. And they got Kareem Hunt and Pacheco in the backfield. So they can play physical, too. They got a little bit of muscle as well. The defense is solid. Steve Spags used to coach defense for the Eagles way back when Reed was coaching for the Eagles as well. So, I know it's going to be a personal matchup as well. But I like what the Eagles have with Saquon Barkley.
I know. That's why I was like, that's
how do you not feed the beast? Second half, as long as the game is close. I think the Chiefs are going to really have to try to open things up early and get an early lead to try to take Saquon out of it. Otherwise, if it's close, they're going to pound the rock.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going to be too much because the Eagles line with Barkley,
it's crazy.
all you got to do is just give him a little bit of room and he's gone. So it's just like he's got that Derrick Henry effect. I love watching him. He's a fellow Aquarius as well. So shout out to my Aquarius brother there. I hope he does well. So, I'll say whoever wins it will definitely earn it.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I think it's going to be a tough one. I feel like Philly, if they get off to a fast start, they could definitely take this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great game, real competitive.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guarantee
That's
that.
what the fans
want to
see. We don't want to see a blowout, and we want to see a fair game. So we don't want to be playing against the Chiefs and the refs.
Oh my gosh, yeah, right. I'm
sorry,
right.
Could we just
speak on it?
All right,
so it's that time.
Yeah, it's been all over social media, Facebook, everywhere. So there was two plays yesterday. So one was
hate the game.
Second quarter, like 2:36, if I'm not mistaken. A pass that they ruled a catch that clearly wasn't a catch.
The ground can't catch the ball.
It was it was at the goal line.
Can't catch the ball.
Right. And clearly, when they showed the replay, the receiver of Kansas City, it hit the ground, but they ruled it a catch. And you could clearly see it hit the ground.
And usually when they try to line up real quick right after, that's when you need to hit the replay because they know they bleeped up, but they try and cover it up. And
but that wasn't as bad as the one in the fourth because these are game-changing plays where Buffalo could have scored a touching and took the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Like key moments where this stuff happens, it just makes you question what's up with these refs? But
just listening to the radio didn't sound right.
Yeah, it was like a 4-for-1, and Josh Allen, tried to run it, got the spot, and they said that he fell short. They actually moved the ball back. First, the ref was signaling first down, and then the other refs moved the ball.
Yeah, there was confusion right at the call. One side judge was like good, and another one was like nah. Yeah. And then
and even the commentators was like, yo, he got it. He got it.
It was sus.
Just seeing that, it just. It's not cool. It just for the fans, it just takes away from the love of the game.
They gotta
hate to see that.
They gotta really look into it. The officiating all around this year, there have been some really questionable spots and crucial points throughout the regular season. Maybe not so much the playoffs, but with the playoffs, yes, there has been some questionable calls. And that's something that the fans have been griping about, not even just this year, that it's something that has been consistently taking away from the quality of the game when the officiating is not up to par. You're paying all these athletes all this money. You got all these sponsorships. Y'all making multi-billion dollars a year in revenue. Y'all can pay either better refs or pay them more money to study the game and do a better job at calling it. It's not an easy job, but it's you can definitely do better than that.
Right. And it seems like it's always with the Chiefs when this stuff happens.
Right. And then that has been a consistency as well. Come on,
there's been stuff that's happened all season with them, shady stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's not cool.
That's the question.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's not cool. Fans don't want to see that. It just takes away from the love of the game. We want to see a fair game.
No, that's so true.
Yeah,
indeed.
That's so true. But I really feel like the Eagles gonna take it in the Super Bowl. I feel like it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really close. But they're gonna take it.
They got that dog in them, man.
They
do. It hurts the defense.
They really do. They really do. We're record breaking. We broke record, and our game yesterday.
That was messed up. Sunday,
55,
that was
55.
messed. I didn't have to do them so bad.
Sarah,
that was murder. I want to
crazy.
say murder, but they scored pretty good too.
Yeah.
So I was it technically
that
wasn't
day,
murder, but we
Washington
did kill them.
Do you know what y'all did yesterday? And this had never been done. So,
aggravated assault for sure.
Yes.
This was the first. So Hurts and Barkley, first NFL duo in NFL history to have 3+ touchdowns in a playoff game.
That's
first
ridiculous.
duo because Barkley had 3 and Hurts had 1. So combined, that's the first duo in NFL history. So that was huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I really love that. And shout out to rookie Will Shipley. You know, he scored his first career touchdown, rushing 77 yards. So, you know, he made one of them. And
Was it a return or was it offense?
I gotta
Special
look at
teams. I know he
Yeah,
played
it was
special
special-
teams.
yeah,
Oh,
it was
he ran
special
it back?
teams,
Okay. Yeah, Philly been having the. Yeah, I like Philly special teams. Harbaugh, before he came to the Ravens, was coaching their special teams. I've seen some very magical moments. They had some plays against New York, which was fun to watch way back when. But yeah, Philly special teams has always been like
And shout out to
strong point.
Daniels. We got to give the Commanders
for
some.
sure.
I mean,
For
he
sure.
played great. You know what I'm saying?
did.
He threw the ball a lot.
Yes.
He was 29 out of 48. He had a touchdown and a pick, but the D was all over him, man. He wasn't getting loose how he was, and you know what I mean?
Defense was off the
They-
chart.
I mean, when the
was,
special
right.
team,
Damn,
when
I was
your
like,
running
this felt like
back
a
is
wrestling
fumbling, when
match
the
at some
special
point.
teams
Like,
is
they was
fumbling the
killing
ball, I
Right.
mean, that's not on Daniels.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
you know,
Like one guy ran into his own man and fumbled. Like it was crazy.
That
Like,
was crazy,
Right.
right? How many? What did they do? Like four fumbles? Was it a 4 turnovers?
4 turnovers.
turnovers, yeah.
Four
It's like,
turnovers.
what?
You can't
Yeah,
do that.
and then they just kept scoring, like just running the score up. I was just like, this is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Even by 32.
No
It
mercy.
was like
man.
halfway in, you'd be like, oh, it could be anybody's game. But then after a while, you're just like, no, they
Yeah.
just keep taking it. They just keep taking it.
Yeah, first half it wasn't as bad, but like once third quarter, it was like okay, and the third you just kind of knew it was over.
And you know it was gonna be a game. Once freaking with that fake out, oh my gosh, that
yeah.
first touchdown.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I was like,
That
this is
set
the
the
game
trend
to
for
remember.
the Eagles.
Yes.
Like first play, they handed off to Barkley, and the crazy because it was like a tap back toss way back, and then he cut it back into the outside and was just out. Like I mean,
Yes.
the speed he
He
showed on
can
that play.
Run! I was
Yo.
like, you was watching him take
Right.
off for like Momo's autumn plays. It
Oh,
was like
man.
everybody was trying to catch him, and then
Yeah.
they grabbed him at one time, got him right by the foot. Like that's all you can get. And you
Right.
had to push yourself for that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
I
crazy.
love how he
yeah.
like breathes too, and he's like, he's not dead after
Right.
he's done too. Like he can still
Stamina.
celebrate. Yes, his stamina is off the chart.
Comes in handy. An analogy that I had to the Chiefs, alleged home cooking with the refs. It's kind of like watching that young boy, pale-faced young boy, stroll into that late model luxury V8 vehicle. It just reeks of privilege. You don't want to hate the player, but you definitely hate the game.
Yeah.
Like, dang. So yeah. Anyways.
Nah, I
moving
hear
on.
you though.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Now, if you
Good analogy.
are that
hilarious.
person walking
That's
into the car,
hilarious.
you're perfectly fine with it. But
Yeah.
everybody else is like, man, forget y'all. But anyways, anyways, moving on. So we got plenty.
Got some Cowboy news. They picked up Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's actually
So-
the Cowboys' 10th head coach in Cowboys history. Schottenheimer was actually an offensive coordinator for the last 2 seasons, so he's got some
Some experience. I
Yeah,
thought
some
he had,
experience with the team, and he comes from a coaching family.
Yep, I know his
He
dad.
25 seasons as an assistant and for 9 teams, 25
Okay,
seasons.
he's been in the game for a
Yeah,
while.
he has. Yep, and then
It's been a minute.
and then 14 seasons as an offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And this is his first head coaching job, so we'll see how he does. I feel like Jerry did kind of rush the move. It was a lot of other options out there, but that's Jerry. He just he makes these decisions, and not to say it was a bad one, but I feel like he could have tested the waters a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I agree, but you know, if we were talking about a rational-minded person, then
Yeah. I mean, they need to do something because
Yeah,
Cowboys
they do.
have 13 straight playoff appearances without reaching conference championship. That's the longest in NFL history.
History.
That's a crazy stat line right there.
Yep,
So
that's for the regular season.
we shall see.
Indeed. Do you think it's about time to move on from Dak?
Man, it's tough. Like,
I know.
so here's the thing with Dak. He has a great season. He always puts up good numbers, QB rating, but when the big moment comes, these big games, playoffs, he folds. He doesn't produce. So that's what I have to say negative about him because I mean it's the truth. It's
only
what you
not-
see.
yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He folds in the big games, and you need a quarterback who can show up in big games and get the dub, and put up numbers, and play for the team, and
Yeah, be able
Yeah.
to put the team on his back when needed.
I think they should definitely get a quarterback just in case, but I think they're probably gonna get a not to say they won't get one in the second or third round, but I think they're definitely getting a running back first
Okay.
round because they got
Yeah.
12th pick, and they do need a running back. So
Indeed. I haven't had a chance to. Or I think
I'm not gonna give up on Dak yet, though. To answer your question, I don't think they should move on from now. I'm gonna give him another season and see what he do.
Okay.
And then we'll come back. We'll revisit this.
Okay. I think next year will be very telling for his future with Dallas. Whether win, lose, or draw, or I say he would have to produce. He would have to stay healthy the whole season, and then be able to produce at a Pro Bowl level. And then if they get to the tournament, they have to really see how much of a difference he's making or how much he's helping the team win.
True.
Because if he does a Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
then he's going to have a Sam Darnold effect. Like, my man going to miss out on a whole lot of money because he choked in the big moments.
Right. And we don't know what he would have done because he got hurt early in the season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been a different outcome. So I'm curious to see what happens next year. Hopefully he can stay healthy and, stay on the right path and, win some playoff games. Not just a winning season. Let's get to a conference championship, possibly Super Bowl. That's the ultimate goal.
Of course. And I mean, I think they do have some pieces in place to kind of help, but it's probably we'll see because I know the coach, quarterback, like I don't know, they look kind of mid, bruh. Like I mean, they're just
I feel you,
right? Because it's just. I think that they have enough talent. If they overachieve, they can definitely make some noise. And who knows, maybe the new coach can help, organize and set the table for that. So I'd say for the sake of possibility, there's always that. But I mean, Washington has, turned things around in short order.
Oh yeah.
The Eagles are,
they had 4 wins last year, right?
Right. I think the year before they, really turned things around. And then you got to look at Philly. They're the king of the hill. They've been consistently, at the top of the division. So it's just like the only team looking up to Dallas at this point is the Giants. They're the only complete utter dumpster fire of the division. Whereas though Dallas has somewhat of a chance, they actually competed towards the end, even with the shorthanded that they were. But yeah, like they're definitely gonna have. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's possible that they could still turn things around. Because if you see what Washington did, anything
it's definitely possible.
Yep. So
there's
that. We got some. Well, there was some Orioles news as well. Outfielder Tony Santander
on the move.
He's got picked up within the division. He goes to Toronto for a 5-year, $92 million deal. Now I'll tell you this. I think it was a slight overpay. Toronto, I think they did overpay. I know they're desperate for offense. They're trying to add some pieces around Vlad Jr. Ironic enough, because his father played for the Orioles for a brief thing. I'm going to get onto that in a minute because I did want to talk about Orioles. It's going to be a more developing storylines as we get closer to spring training, which will be several weeks from today. But Tony went to the Blue Jays. I know his agent said they were willing to consider a 1-year deal before Toronto made their offer. But I'm not gonna get into too many details as to why the Orioles might have moved on. Now I'd say Orioles could have kept, snatched him up for a 1-year deal, and it would have made perfect sense. If it didn't work out after that, they could have let him go. If he got injured or he regressed in production after that 1-year deal, then you let him go. No harm, no foul. But him; he's been within the organization pretty much his entire career.
Right.
He's switch hitter, power bat. Had 44 bombs last year and damn near 100 ribbies. Like that kind of production is not easy to replace.
Nah.
And a lot of teams pay, upwards of 15, 20 million, like what Teoscar got with the Dodgers. The teams will pay that kind of money for that kind of production.
Right.
And it's not, unfair to give a guy of that caliber that kind of money. And like I said, he wasn't demanding a huge commitment, so it wasn't a big risk deal that the Orioles could have made to keep him and just keep that talent in the building. But like I said, I do think Toronto overpaid. We'll see if maybe the Orioles know that his production was going to decline, or that they knew that his health health was going to catch up. Injury bug and things like that. Maybe they know something we don't as to why they passed on him, but that was definitely, a feasible, reasonable deal that the Orioles could have had, but they let him go to a division rival at that of anything. So there's that. And then what I wanted to mention real quick was that there was a lot of flack that Mike Elias has gotten on his lack of action, acquiring players in the offseason. We're live, y'all. But I wanted to refer to the 2010, 2011 offseason that the Orioles had, where it was kind of similar to what they have now, where there's a core young talent that look like they're getting ready to improve and make their way towards contending to a World Series. And the general manager they had at the time, Andy McPhail, he went out and made a bunch of trades to add to that core. After they traded Eric Bedard to get Adam Jones and Chris Tillman from Seattle back in 2008, a couple other players that they developed from the farm system. They had Guthrie as well. They were starting to assemble, some talent at the top of the rotation, have some offensive firepower. So they got some guys to add to that. So they made trades to get Vladimir Guerrero, some other names that come to mind. They got one of the most expensive relievers on the market. That following year, they didn't make the playoffs. But what happened the year after was when Buck Showalter took the Orioles to the playoffs, and they went, went to play the Yankees in that divisional series.
Yeah, I remember
that. That was a very memorable year. I was driving a cab, listening to the Orioles games on the radio. I was like, oh snap, they're winning.
Yeah, I like Buck.
Buck. He's such a fan favorite. Former manager of the Yankees.
Right.
It seemed like everywhere he would go after he left, the team would go win the World Series.
Right.
So he knew how to build it. He knew how to build a ball club.
Yes.
Just strong, humble, warm-hearted tech guy from Texas. Definitely know how to lead the troops and things like that. But he's very beloved in Baltimore. I think his voice started to get lost in the clubhouse towards the last season before they let him go, whatever the case may be. But at the time they had. But the reference was, at the time they had a general manager who wasn't afraid to pull the trigger on some big moves, and it didn't work out right away. But it would open up a window of contention for them, because some of the players they traded for were J.J. Hardy, and goodness gracious, some of their relievers and things like that. I was looking at the article, I just can't think of the names off the top of my head. But some of those trades that they made, not all the trades worked out. Like the Guerrero trade didn't work out. He didn't perform to the standard that he had the year before he got traded to the Orioles. But J.J. Hardy was a cornerstone of their infield. He was their shortstop, their quarterback, you could say. So, you gotta try. You gotta be willing to make those moves, because you really can't lose. Like, you can't look at it as, if I make the wrong move, then it's going to set the team back. My job is in jeopardy. You got to look at it like, every move, not that you're going to say that every move's going to pan out,
right?
But you gotta trust your gut and just know that what you feel and what is going to pan out, because you're put here for a certain purpose to do a certain thing, and you just don't be scared to doggone do it, man. So I think that this season is going to be telling as far as like how things pan out, and if Elias made the right moves by not making moves. They do have a lot of picks coming up in the draft that are within the top 30.
Right.
So, that'll be good for rebuilding their farm system and continuing to, build up that talent, that pool of talent they have coming up from the minor leagues. That's something I think they're always going to be able to lean on. One of his strong suits is being able to scout and develop talent. So I think the Orioles are always going to have a pool of talent to pull from every few years to keep themselves, enough talent to win games and stuff like that. But it's like, do you want to just be mid, or do you want to be that team that actually is better than all? They were like one of the best teams in the AL last year or the year before that, record-wise, wins and losses. So they already have a really strong foundation. So it's just like having the money, having the freedom to spend it, and having, a wide talent of prospects to offer for trades for big-name players from other teams. They have so many ways they can acquire this guy or that guy to put them over the top. And if they don't make that move and it sets them back, then that's what Mike Elias is going to be remembered by. So that was it. I know I said a lot, mouthful, but that was that.
It's cool. We didn't really elaborate much on that Ravens loss, because we missed last Monday. That was a tough loss. So
3 turnovers. And I know the Ravens, they never win when they lose the turnover battle in the playoffs, in their resistance to their franchise.
And that's the first time this season Lamar had multiple turnovers, and That was Mark Andrews' second career lost fumble when he fumbled. The crazy thing about that, I don't know if you
I
were
saw
watching,
the play. Yeah,
that's normally not his game. When
It's
he
not.
catches a ball, he goes down. He tried to make extra moves, juke and all
in the
that. That
snow.
ain't your game. Just
Yeah.
catch the ball, go down. I can't understand the drop in the end zone. It's cold, ball slick, but that
Yeah.
was tough. He's getting a lot of, hate and threats. And I don't know if you've been hearing about his family. Like, fans do too much when
It's
it
a
comes
religion.
to. Yeah. It's just too much, though. Like, death threats and this and that. Like, she had to deactivate her social media and all this stuff. And,
I meant
he
to say
reached
that at the
out.
beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's just sad. We don't condone that. We
Like,
we don't promote that.
We don't. And I'm gonna say every demographic has poor representation. So for those very misguided Ravens fans that did that, y'all need to chill out for real.
That's not cool. It's
not
just
necessary.
a game. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
Like that. The man is making the means to provide for his family, just like all those other players out on the field, just like the coaches. Like, it's a game. Everyone is. First of all, the object is to like make a living, have fun. And it's a distraction that we enjoy for 3 or 4 hours out of the day from real life. At the end of the, like, these men go back to their wives and their children at home just like y'all do.
Right.
So y'all got to relax. And shout out to Bills Mafia for making a donation to his foundation for diabetes. Because that was something I thought about. Because I'm wondering if for someone because I seen I think some of the footage on Hard Knocks. My man be taking insulin shots on the sidelines several times throughout practices and games. Like that's real life.
Real
right there.
life, yeah.
And I'm wondering if being in the cold, that might have something to do with how your hands are able to grip and handle the football.
Yeah, because it looked like he had it and it just at the last moment just dropped it. And
it's like,
you can't put it all on him. It's a team game. Like,
a
lot of people are blaming Andrews for the loss. Lamar had 2 turnovers.
Yep.
Like,
He threw the
it's not his
interception.
fault neither. It's just a team game.
It's a team game. Defense had some lapses. So it's like if they played better earlier in the game, they wouldn't even have to rally like that at the end. That's the Buffalo, they stayed very steady. They played to their strengths. They didn't try they didn't press. They just let the game come to them. They took what was given to them, and they just just steady march throughout. They made plays when they needed to make plays, but they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. Only time it's a saying now, and it's like it's absolutely true. Only time the Ravens lose is when they beat themselves.
Yeah.
They were the
better team on the field out there. They
more
just
talented. Yes,
didn't win the game. They were definitely the better team on the field.
Yeah,
but Josh Allen did pay homage to Lamar after the game. He recognized his greatness. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson. Like, you can't put him down and hate on him, man. You got to give him his props. But they just fell a little short. So disappointing, but we'll see what happens next year. That's all you can do, when your team when whoever you're rooting for is out. You just got to wait till the next season.
And I know what really hurt him was not having Zay Flowers.
Yeah, because that was huge.
Because I noticed with the Chiefs game yesterday, Mahomes was able to find some of those receivers underneath for the crossing routes, and they was able to turn upfield to get yardage. And that's a very crucial part of any team's offense, because if it just allows you to diversify the way you attack defenses, something else for them to have to consider. And when you have when your offense is clicking on all cylinders, when you have all the pieces available and you're firing on all cylinders, it's really hard for that defense to guess what's coming next. So you hit them with the run up the middle, and then you go play action off of that. You might spread them out, but then thinking that they're gonna go deep, but then you hit them shallow, or you hit them across going low or shit. And then they're thinking you hit them hard with the quick underneath stuff, and then they try to come up for that, and then you just buy time and hit him over the top of the head with someone that can with your fastest receiver, whatever the case may be. So when you got all those pieces in place, it just gives you those options. Like with the Ravens, I feel like really they just have to really psychologically lock in, calm down, and not get too anxious and nervous or press in the playoffs. Like,
don't try to do too much. Play
don't have to play your game. Exactly.
Like when Lamar put the ball on the ground, like that ain't him. Like, throw the ball away.
Yeah, just throw it away. Live to see the next down. Live to see the next play.
He was mad at himself. I don't know if you saw the press conference. He was like, "I gotta hold on to the ball." He cursed. He's like, "Excuse my language." He's like, "I'm just tired of this." He's like, he was frustrated, yo. He was like, man, I'm tired of this. And you can see his frustration, and I feel for him. It's for the love of the game. That's how you react when you love the game.
Make a call, and then you're like, oh no, I could have done this better.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but they'll look at tape, they'll look at film, that they'll get better. Like, that's what makes players and teams better. Overcoming obstacles like that.
Indeed. The good thing is Tucker got back on his game at the end. Now, one thing I want to add, another end of the season takeaway. I really think they need to reconsider a new coach for their special teams.
Yeah.
They have been at the bottom of the league in a lot of statistical metrics for the last 2-3 years. Their return game is trash. Their coverage game is trash.
Right.
It's not fun to watch.
Right.
Oftentimes, Ravens' offense are starting inside of their own 20 far too often, and the other teams are able to start the drives at their 30, 35.
Thank you.
And that's a huge advantage in field position when your offense has to be out there. Now, it can help the time of possession when you have extra plays, you get more first downs, but it puts more stress to have to put those long, productive drives together when you're backed up in your own field all the time. Whereas, though, if you're closer to midfield, you get one first down and you're in field goal range pretty much. So now it's like it just puts you at ease because you can open up the playbook. You can hit with play action for a deep shot right there after getting one first down as opposed to having to start up. Because if you're inside your 15, 10-yard line, you get sacked. You get sacked, mess around. Your punter's like all the way there. They're like their heel is like just behind in front of the goal line.
Yeah.
The back of the end zone. So if he trips and falls backward, it's a safety or so it's like it's like that field position.
Yeah,
and
right.
that it's happened to them. That Texans game, they got backed up deep in their own, and then Derrick Henry got tackled for that safety. I mean, it was only score they gave up, but it was just like, if they have a better. It was funny because it was a funny sequence. They actually got the ball down previously like at the 6, but there was a penalty. They made him re-kick.
Right.
And then the guy ended up downing it even further back, closer to the end zone. So that rarely happens.
Rarely.
That was just the ball literally bouncing bad for them. But I mean, that's just if they have a better special teams unit, then I think they could get better luck, and get better opportunities to set the offense up.
Yeah, they should make a move in that department.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't like the special teams coach. They could do better.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then hopefully better on the next year. I know we'll have the draft in April. I did hear that DaCosta is looking to extend Henry for beyond because they have him for next season, but he wants to keep him. He wants to see if he can keep him for the rest of his career. I was thinking four more years, somewhere in the high 30s, low 40s, maybe with a fifth-year option. If
I'm mad that they didn't use. Not to cut you off. I'm mad that they didn't use Henry as much in that game. Like towards the end, like. That play to Andrews, they should have just ran it. Like there's a lot of moments you can go back in that game where you be like, they should just give it to Henry here because he's a powerful runner. Like,
I mean,
rather than throwing it. I mean, because the team is not really expecting that. They're looking for the pass, so why not surprise them with the run?
Or throw it to Henry. Throw it to
like,
Henry. Like I've been saying it all season.
Man,
like when they sell out to stop the run, they stack 8 in the box. That's when you go play action.
Right.
If you don't find the first read, he's leaking somewhere out in the flat, going across.
Yeah, I mean they didn't use him enough.
Wide
man.
open.
They didn't use him enough.
Yeah,
man.
They could definitely use him more in the passing game because he's so overlooked in that aspect. They look for him in the run game, but in the passing game, he can definitely be an asset for them. And Justice Hill also is another another one of their running back. They have a very talented running back core. I like what they have. I know with Keaton Mitchell, he'll be stronger next year coming off that knee injury, but he's a home run waiting to happen every time he touches the ball. Justice Hill, just as effective and the best pass protector that they have too. So whenever he's in the backfield and Lamar drops back to pass, it's almost like having an extra lineman to block for Lamar. And I mean, he's small. He's like 5'8", 180 something, maybe with soaking wet clothes, but he'll block a 300-pound guy rushing to try to tackle Lamar.
Shout out to everybody tuned in. We appreciate y'all.
Shout out. Yes.
Shout out everybody watching. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Sports Talk,
thank you for tuning in with the home team. For sure. So and also shout out to Ben Johnson also got hired by he agreed to terms. I'm not sure if the deal's been official, but he agreed to terms with the Bears, Chicago Bears, the former offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson. So I know that was another one. I know there was a lot of talk about him going to possibly Las Vegas.
I did.
They hit him up. Tom Brady being part of the front office there.
Yeah.
He's been having a lot of input as far as like how they want to assemble how they want to rebuild because they need a quarterback, they need a coach, and they need a general manager. And being able to set that up in lockstep, if they can have a have a coach and a GM that work well together, that have a good chemistry, that sets them up well once they get the quarterback they want. Shedeur Sanders is someone that I know is going to be highly talked about as far as like, one of those early quarterback prospects to go off the board in the draft this year. If they're able to get him and maybe if they were to get Ben Johnson and then maybe draft Shedeur Sanders, that would be that would be
crazy.
because they got some talent a little bit. I think they it'd be interesting. I think that's a team that can turn things. I think that's a team that could turn things around, but then they still have a very talented division to play in with Denver making the playoffs, LA making the playoffs, and then the Chiefs. Being doggone Chiefs they are. So it's like they 8-9, they could be the worst team in that division. 8 wins, 9 losses, still be the worst team in that division. So it's like it's a very competitive division that they're in. But we'll see what happens there. But shout out to Chicago. Looks like they're set up well. They definitely have a young offensive creative mind for their coach, and then they have Caleb Williams as the quarterback. But I'm wondering how much the GM is going to get in the way of how things develop. Yeah. If he's competent enough to really just allow the coach, the quarterback, and the rest of the team to kind of develop properly, or because having the wrong GM can mess things up too. But all right, I said a lot. And then shout out to Ohio State for winning the college football championship, beating Notre Dame.
So I know you excited about your Eagles. You do anything special for the Super Bowl or like?
Actually, I was gonna say like, if anybody got a party going on, let me know because I'm down.
Okay, it's gonna be a lot going on, and they tore the city up yesterday. It was wild.
I know. Oh my gosh, did you see Broad Street? It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Like, dang, it was already bad after a game, but it's like, no stops was held. It was just everybody was out celebrating. Like I didn't hear too much bad news.
Yeah,
but, I don't like to watch the news.
It was one incident where some car,
it
wasn't intentional. Some car ran into some people, but it wasn't like,
no
terrorists or anything crazy. It was just like an
play.
accident. But other than that, it was, just people having fun, enjoying a win.
Yeah.
Just wilding out.
Y'all be careful out there on them streets now.
Yeah, be careful. It's a lot going on out here. Be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, make sure everybody tune in. I know it's in 2 weeks. February 9th, 6:30 EST.
It's February 9th? That's Saquon's birthday.
Yeah, they were talking about that yesterday. It was like, his after party would be lit if they win.
Are you kidding me? I might have to try it.
Yo, be like VIP invites.
And then you got the halftime show. You don't know what's going to happen with Kendrick. Right. Who's going to be special guests? I'm hearing all these rumors. I'm just going to wait and see.
Right. I don't know.
I'm hearing a lot of different stuff.
I heard about him being halftime, and I was like, I would love for him to be halftime. He'd be killing it. He'd be killing it.
Yeah, he definitely going to be doing it, but it's like, who's going to be the special? You know how they have like friends and
yes.
guests. Been hearing a lot of rumors, but
I got a conspiracy theory angle, y'all.
Okay.
All right, so Kendrick is performing at the halftime show?
Yes.
Okay, so Kendrick, from what I understand, he is affiliated with a certain street fraternity that of a certain color. Maybe red.
Okay.
What
color is the Chiefs?
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. He's
I didn't know that.
Affiliated. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Like, in all honesty, like
I want the Eagles to win, but it's just.
What about you, Sarah?
I think it's going to be the Chiefs.
I want to call it. I'll be like 30-27 is what I would say.
Philly?
Eagles winning, of course,
okay.
of course. Yeah. It's gonna be very close, but I think
it's gonna be high scoring.
I feel it. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be high scoring.
They definitely bet the over. Definitely bet the over that game.
I would like to say a lot, but I know they're both two good teams.
I'm gonna go with 34-31 Philly. I think it's gonna be high scoring. I think it's gonna be a field goal game. I hope that's what I hope to see.
I don't know. Like I heard a little bit about, Eagles, their pass rush is going to get to, Mahomes and limit, the big games, and Hurts and Barkley running the ball, keeping the Chiefs defense guessing. So, it's a lot of things going on. You got a lot of stats that's messing up, making the plays, making the game. So, but Philly defense,
when they need a play, they could definitely call AJ Brown 11.
Yeah.
When they need a play, call 11.
But Mahomes and Kelsey, that's
going to
be a matchup
It's going to be a matchup. And they saying this might be Kelsey's last year. He might retire. That's what I've been hearing, but we'll see. You know, his brother just retired. So.
Right. Yeah, which was interesting because I thought about that crossed my mind too. Like they was probably talking smack on the phone leading up to the game. Like, see, bro, if you stuck in it for a couple more years, we'd have been able to run it back.
We got someone tuned in said they hope Philly win. So
Of course.
we see.
Yeah,
I'm rooting
said,
for him too. I'm rooting for him too. So
yeah, they're underdog. You know, they lost the last time, so you know everyone's like, you know, don't bet against the Chiefs until they finally lose. This could be the time. This could be the time. Like I said, I think this is going to be Kansas City's toughest challenge Super Bowl wise. You know, I think that game against Philly last time, was a good one, but Philly's even stronger this year. They got Jalen. I don't know if they had Jalen Carter before. I don't know if they had him a couple years ago because I think this is his second year. So having Jalen Carter on defense, the linebacker too, Vaughn is another one. I like him too. He's a very key player on their defense. They got a very talented young secondary. Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be able to neutralize some of those talented passing targeted threats that they have. Philly, I think they're set up well to guard against Kelsey too. I think zone coverage, the linebackers are athletic, or the pass rush. You know, they might not even really have to play coverage so much. If their front four, I think they'll have a advantage against the Chiefs' offensive line and force Mahomes to have to scramble around. I know Mahomes is going to find a way to make some plays.
Yeah.
But I think if they just consistently pressure him and force him off his spot, throw his timing off, there's going to be some incomplete passes, some 3-and-outs, maybe some turnover opportunities that can really work well in Philly's favor. And don't sleep on the special teams too. That oftentimes make play. I mean, you saw what happened in the Washington Commanders game. That fumble. I don't know if it was the end of the first half or the beginning of the second half, but that really started to blow things open for Philly once that happened. So, whoever makes the fewest mistakes is usually the team to win the game. But yeah, I think special teams is really going to be something to look for. All right, okay. So we getting ready to get out of here. We got some spotlights that we want to shout out. Well, do y'all have any spotlights before I close out?
I mean, like, I know there was a couple things that we was trying to mention where, take a seat.
Yeah, have a seat. Yeah.
I was getting excited about talking about these two topics.
Go ahead. You want to bring it up? Bring it up. Yeah, bring it up.
I was like, it kind of
because not all Eagles fans are classy, apparently.
Oh goodness, I know, right? I was like, he was, what is it, a IT specialist at a law firm. So I mean, like, he got sacked and everything. Like, he lost his job straight up. That's honestly, that's what you get. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can't be heckling a female like that and disrespectful.
With her husband right
there, like, you can choose.
Take the game a little too serious.
Just relax, chillax.
Women, like,
I did not like that.
Yeah, the stuff he was saying.
Yes, he was. I don't even want to mention the stuff in the video,
we don't have
but
to.
like, the video was still up,
But have a seat,
Have a seat, yes, please. Have several of them.
It was unnecessary.
And you'll be filling out some job applications with that seat now.
Yes, and then it's like, now you had to put out an apology.
But see, he put himself out there because it's like anybody that's like, what's his name again? Wait a minute, ain't that the dude that was on that video? And like,
jobs really do be looking at your Facebook profile, your Instagram.
Like,
they be looking at
the
everything.
internet,
TikTok.
The internet is forever, fam.
Commander fan punched the what is it? A few months back, I don't know if it was Raven fans or whatever, but they was on it.
Yeah.
No, a Raven fan punching Commander fans. He got in trouble, lost his job and everything.
Flock Nation.
He down there drunk, running into Commander fans, just punching them. It was crazy.
Yeah,
can't be doing stuff like that.
And it takes away from the experience when you want to go to the game. Because really, they, when folks are going to the games, like, they really want to make it a family-friendly experience.
Yeah.
Because you want to have children there. It's like, it's football and a lot of brouhaha, masculine energy and things like that. But as far as the games, the stadiums, there's a lot of activities going on that really want to engage the whole fan base.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You could like the Green Bay. It's like, it's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Packers is they're a classy franchise, classy fan, decent fan base. I got family out in Wisconsin as well, so but yeah, I mean, like I said, every demographic has shitty representation. So, it's not just, one fan base or the other that has bad fans, unless you're New England. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, y'all gotta relax, have a seat, and then there was a situation that happened earlier this month in NBA. You want to bring that up?
So it was oh goodness,
Brooklyn Nets game.
Yes.
The jersey thing.
Yes. Yeah. What was it? He gave his jersey to, I'm gonna say,
Wembyana.
Wembyana.
Yeah, we just say Wemby. We just call him Wemby.
Wemby. That's how I was
We
like.
say
I
Wemby.
don't
Oh yeah, I
say the whole
spelled it
thing. I'm
wrong. I
sorry.
spelled it wrong.
Okay.
I spelled it
We say
wrong in
Wemby,
notes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Forgive me.
Wemby.
I'd be like.
Yeah, they know who you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah,
Wemby.
just say
So
Wemby.
anyway, what's crazy is though I think I know why they did it. So
Agreed.
his rookie jersey actually sold for $762,000 on an auction back in November of 2023. Okay, so of course with them type of numbers, and you know this little kid is too little to be writing a sign. His parents did this whole sign. I don't even know who set him up to it, but he looks so tiny. Like he was a very tiny little boy, very young, and it's like from what I understand, no health issues, no nothing, and it just went right on auction. So that auction was actually on the 22nd of gold. I don't even want to shout them out, no, but their opening bid was $10,000, so it's still going on right now.
Okay. I thought it was already sold.
No, I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I was looking at it, but supposedly it's still going on. So I don't know how long the auction is going to be, but yeah, 10,000 was the opening bid. And what broke my heart about that was because he's really fan base. He's really for his supporters, his fans.
Yeah.
And
he came on the road. Yeah. Yes. He was on the road. They weren't at the Spurs game.
There was people that be joshing him for them jerseys. Like they be wanting that merch so bad, and he holds it out for his fans, holds it out for like those that are going to be memorabilia that's like really going to take it to heart. So he put just one little emoji, and it's like when you ain't got nothing to say, send an emoji. It was like
that was classy of him to you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that it's the thing about it is I felt like the parents exploited the situation, and that's the part that I'm like, you really need to have a seat because that's very tasteless and classless. Because the player, they're given that that jersey, it's a gesture, it's a act of kindness, an act of generosity, and they're doing it out of the pure. They're not thinking I'm going to get anything back in return, or I'm trying to do this for publicity or anything like that. They're just doing it because they genuinely appreciate the fans and they want to give them something to remember in appreciation of their support. And then they turn around and exploit the situation and the child for profit. Yeah. So I think the only way they could save face is that they take at least some of those proceeds and make a donation to some type of charitable foundation.
The whole thing.
Or the whole thing, right? You know what I'm saying?
But even
or
if it's
put it up for college or something. I mean, say someone put it up for the kids' college or something.
Right.
But be savvy with that money, because if we find out you was at the Gucci store, folks gonna be pulling up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a little too harsh right there. It's just like, the parents had, I don't even know parents. It could have been aunt, uncle. It could have been grandpa. You don't know who was behind it, but it's just definitely, it was their intention. I feel like that's why they went there. It was their intention to do it. And so not even a month later, like not even, rather than a month, like it wasn't that quick.
The
they
timing
already had
definitely was telling.
And it's like it went on to but they already submitted that, because I've donated like my photography work, my portraits and stuff for like nonprofits and charities to help raise money. And it's like, shout out Sarah Arriaga Photography. You can follow me on my Instagram. No, but I do a lot of work, and it just you put it up. It takes a little bit for it to actually go to auction, and then for them to get it. So it's not like a tomorrow or a next week type thing. Like they already had that in play, I feel like, before they even went to the game.
Greedy bastards. Yep, we getting ready to get out of here. Before we go, I want to give a special shout out to Dan Snyder. Have a seat. Look at your team doing so well without you. He's loving it. Not. I don't know if y'all saw the article. I read an article about his response to the Commanders' recent success since he had to sell the team. I mean, it was a very abusive, toxic culture.
Right.
Nobody felt safe. The women I really felt bad for the women working in that building. I mean, I don't know what exactly the full extent, but from what I understood, it was a very unsafe workplace for a lot of women there and a lot of people there. So once they had to get him out of there, they just turned things right around. Josh Harris, his ownership group, was able to get the right coach. And I think they hit a lick with the quarterback pick, but I mean, the karma's a 5-letter word, ain't it?
Oh yeah, it's real.
So I'm glad they got him out of there, because this is like, and he's a germaphobe from what I understand. He's very bougie. He's very not a people person. He's very OCD. He's very elitist. So the fact that he had to eat a whole lot of crow and have a lot of humble pie, just does good for the people. It's a very feel good story, especially for the DC fans. I know y'all didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but the fact that y'all made it, y'all overachieved, y'all arrived early, y'all set up for the future. future, and you got rid of the big bad wolf, before it all happened. So, you get to enjoy football again down in D.C. Life is good. All's good in the
That
world.
traffic would have been killer if they had really
When-
won. It
oh,
was already
going-
horrible. It's
Like, you ain't going
now-
nowhere.
oh,
You're just
Lord.
Right.
You might as
Ain't
well just
nobody
set up a
going
tent where you at
Right?
tonight. You just camp out right there.
That's the truth.
All right. So, any closing remarks before we leave? I know.
For sure. I got my I finished up my book. Dropping
indeed.
later on this.
Hey.
Dropping later on this year. So it's a series.
We getting ready to leave, Sandy. We ain't forget
yeah,
about
I
it.
got a little preview.
Yeah,
It's
first
amazing.
series is it's called first chapter is Guidance Angel Part 1, the beginning. I don't know if Sandy you got the image queued up, but that's the basically story about a boy who passes at
Sandy.
a young age. He comes back as an angel, and he just guides kids like with going through stuff
Real
like
life
troubled kids
situations.
like in
Yeah.
the right path. So
man.
it's so cool because there's so many different stories. I'm actually already working on part 3. Like 2's done. Like
nice.
I love writing, and it's just something I've always loved to do. So and it's fun, So and it's actually based off my brother. So like my brother is like in part 1, like before he
Shout
becomes
out
an
to
angel.
Bucket.
So it's
Yes,
based
indeed.
off
Salute.
of true events. So I'm very excited about that. Working on the illustration, publishing's. I'm in that phase right now, so hopefully by later this year I'll be able to drop that, and next year drop part 2, Voice of Courage, which will focus on a young girl named Nicole. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So excited.
stay
for that.
tuned. Yeah, I'm excited,
man.
and then of course I got the merch and the tumblers and everything you see on display on my website ebjrbrand.com. So make y'all go cop some. Support. Ascend the icon where you can, elevate,
mine.
believe, and just rise. Got the Valentine's Day merch dropping
Yes.
next week. So
Yes, indeed.
just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
all my friends, family, everybody out there. Love y'all.
Indeed. Miss Sarah, any closing remarks?
Just everybody stay safe, stay
Yes.
fit, stay talented, stay good,
Stay hydrated.
true. Yeah, stay hydrated. And don't let nothing hold you back. Just keep going, keep moving forward. And I know amidst the whole heartaches of people in the DC, it's okay. Maybe next year. I ain't gonna say nothing, but
They're going to be a factor. They're going to be a
Yeah,
factor.
no, they
With
definitely
Daniel, as
made
long
it
as Daniel
far.
stays
They
healthy,
just-
they're going to be a
Yeah.
factor. Indeed. Y'all's going to have it's going to be a tough challenge every two games every
Right.
year. It's
I
not
feel
those
like-
aren't you ain't just going to be able to circle those on the
No,
calendar
but I
anymore.
feel like the Eagles, they really, it's not so much as a start because we got a lot of good people that have been there, but it's like, I see it's like, it's not an end. So it's like, they're going to keep going. They
Right,
got
it's a
lot
start.
of good
It's definitely
people.
a fresh start.
Yeah, it's like it's not new start, but it's definitely the beginning of a new era, for real.
For sure. Indeed. And
what's up.
one thing I wanted to say about your book, and your book series that you're
Oh, yeah,
launching,
yeah.
I look forward to the real life testimonies of people really being able to connect with your work, because I feel like that's
Yes.
going to touch home in
Yes.
ways
Yes.
that you won't even imagine. It's like
Right.
you don't even know what you read was like my
Yes.
real life. I actually experienced that. You're going to get that a lot.
Thank you.
I
And
see
that's
that.
why I wanted to do it, because I know a lot of people can relate and a lot of people are going through actual stuff like that. So having an actual angel that can guide you through tough times in
Man,
life and
you're going to save some
anything.
lives, bro. with your
Yes.
work.
Yeah, and I just
promise
can't wait for y'all to see the different different chapters of it. It's crazy with the different parts, because
Yeah.
I can go to 10 plus, and the ideas I got are pretty.
Yeah, I could see it branching out too.
Yeah,
We
like I
won't- we
said,
won't
I'm already
discuss.
on
I can
3
see it.
because it's so real, So
Yep.
look for
Indeed.
part 1,
I'm
Guidance
excited.
Angel part 1 to begin and drop it later this
I'm
year.
excited.
Yep,
Yes,
I'm going to be
indeed.
the first one to cop one. So.
Okay.
You just gotta give one off of GP because you have a nephew that loves you so much and he's gonna enjoy.
Don't worry,
it
I got
everywhere.
y'all, man. I got y'all.
Early
I actually got
birthday
some stuff
present.
off air. We about to go off air. I got some stuff I can show y'all.
Oh, okay,
I got a
cool,
little
cool.
rough draft stuff with me right now. So yeah,
But I
I
was
got
gonna
y'all.
say nobody asked him for a free copy. I'm always like when creatives put their heart and mind into stuff, even designers. He's a designer. Like they be
sure.
putting money in their material. I'm not saying y'all.
If you
can't
ain't
be, that's
help put
different.
it
I'm just
together,
saying, even-
if you ain't help put it together,
Yes.
Yeah.
or at least spread the word. You know what I'm saying? If you can't
Yes.
buy it, at least spread
Cop
the word.
it.
Tell a friend to
Yeah.
tell a friend to go support
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, put your money up because that's how we support our community. For
So-
real.
It's real.
All right, so before we go, shout out to Inaya and Ian Jones. Ian will be turning 4 in a few days. My lovely,
What's up, Ian?
lovely
Love
little
you,
mini
boy.
me. Shout out to my Aquarius. Shout out to all Aquarius out there. And thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Eagles fans. Shout out to Commanders fans. Shout out to Ravens fans. Shout out to everyone tuning in. Shout out to home team fans.
Sandy.
Shout out to Sound
Shout
Queen
out.
Sandy.
Yes.
Dennis.
You know what I'm
Lene.
saying? Shout out to Dennis. Tune in on
Joey.
Thursday. Thursday, we're going to have a lit show for y'all every Thursday. BMorePod. Thank y'all for Dennis and the whole family for giving us this space to give y'all a lit show every Monday. So we'll be back next Monday, we promise. And we'll give you another great show. And we're out.
We're out.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Good night.
000.